There are two standards, standard of the world and the standard of God. In the standard of the world, your place of birth, your family status, your skin color, your riches, your beauty, your height, your physical strength, your education, your talents, your riches, your family circle, your friend circle, victory, competition, and so on becomes very important or held in high esteem. But in God's standard, simplicity, humility, your faith in God, your hope, your heart, your righteousness, your way of living, all this matters. In today's first reading, we hear God's standard. The first reading is from the first book of Samuel. To understand that, we must see the context. Saul was the first king chosen by God as the people of Israel. But then Saul gradually went away from God and God rejected him. And God tells prophet Samuel, go to Bethlehem, take oil, and I will show you a young man to anoint him as a king. Go to the house of Jesse. So Samuel goes to Bethlehem, to the house of Jesse, and invites Jesse and his sons for a sacrifice. And then he saw there Jesse's eldest son Eliab, a tall, handsome young man. And Samuel said to himself, oh, this is the man I should anoint. God tells him, no. God sees differently from the way humans think. I have not chosen him. I have rejected him. Then Jesse presents his second son, Aminadab. God says, I have rejected him. Then Jesse brings the third son, Shammah, rejected. So like this, 7 sons Jesse presents. All 7 were rejected. And Samuel says, do you have more sons? Jesse says, yes, I have the last, the youngest one. He is there grazing the sheep. Samuel says, send someone and fetch him. Till then I will not sit down. David comes. Samuel saw him. David had beautiful eyes. He was really handsome young man. And God says, anoint him. And Samuel poured oil on him, laid his hands, and anointed him as a king. Based on this text, in 16th century, Michelangelo, the famous sculptor of Italy, carved from a single marble stone the statue of David, 5.17 meters. That means about more than 17 feet statue. Beautiful marble statue. Now it is in the city of Florence in Italy. And there is a story, true or false I don't know, that Michelangelo, after carving the statue, saw David totally naked. So beautiful. He fell in love with his own creation. And he told the statue, speak man, he said. because he thought he's alive. It is so alive. You can see on YouTube this statue. You will also fall in love with that young statue of David. Why did God rejected all the first 7 sons of Jesse? Because God's standards are different from our standards. We look at outward appearance. God looks at the heart. We look at the actions and performances. God looks at your intention. For example, you may give lakhs of donation to a church, and people consider, oh my goodness, what a great donor is. But God looks at your intention. Why have you given? Because you want to get the credit, you want to get the name. God will reject. The donation will come maybe to the church, but God has rejected your donation. In the second reading, Paul tells the Ephesians, in earlier days you were in darkness. Now you have come to light. Continue to walk in the light. And in the third reading, which is a long reading, we read the shorter form from the Gospel of John. A born blind beggar was every day begging outside the temple of Jerusalem. And when Jesus saw him, his disciples asked him, for whose sin this man was born as blind? For his sins or his parents' sin? Jesus says, not for his sins, not for his parents' sin. He was born blind so that in him the glory of God will be revealed. That was God's plan, that he has to be born blind. And then Jesus cures him. And now we can see people should have rejoiced that a born blind beggar, now we can see. So they are wondering whether it is the same person or different person. It looks like that. So they had a doubt. So when the news reached the Pharisees and the elders of people of Israel, they called that man and inquired again and again. He said, I don't know who is he. He told me to do this, I did, and now I can see. Then they tell him, but the one who has cured you is a sinner. He says, I don't know. I know that he has cured me. They call his parents and ask him. And they say, yes, he was born blind. He is our son. Now he can see. You only ask him all the details. Because they were afraid of the Jews. Because they will be expelled from the synagogue. Because Jesus worked the miracle on Saturday, Sabbath, a holy day. For Pharisees, the rules, regulations were more important than the man. Where do we stand? We are not physically born blind. I don't think so. Here there are anybody. Maybe, I am not sure. Physically born blind. But we have spiritual blindness. And Jesus not only gave him the physical eyesight to the blind man, he gave him the spiritual sight. Therefore Jesus asked him, do you know the Son of Man and do you believe in him? So that blind man, now who can see, is asking, who is he? I don't know. Please tell me so that I can believe. Jesus says, the man who is standing before you and speaking to you. And the Gospel of John says that man worshipped Jesus. We are suffering from spiritual blindness. We have blindness to speak the truth. We are afraid. We are more concerned about our prestige. What others will think about us. What will people speak about us if I speak the truth. We are afraid to play the prophetic role. Forget about lay people, including priests and nuns. We are afraid. For what? We have to play the prophetic role. We have been chosen for that. we have spiritual blindness towards injustice. We see injustice around us, but we ignore it. We expect somebody else should fight for it. It is not our duty. We have spiritual blindness towards people of other cultures, other languages, people who have a different skin color. So many we have spiritual blindness. So who can cure us? It is only Jesus can cure us. And when we approach Jesus with humility and ask Him, He will cure our spiritual blindness. Let us ask for this grace.